Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the channel if you're new here. I'm Ollie and you're watching Turner's Workshop, and in this week's video we're going to be reviewing the MUCAR 682 Automotive Diagnostics tool. This unit was kindly sent to me free of charge from MUCAR. They reached out and asked me if I could do a review video in exchange for this product. And of course I agreed, because it's really handy to have a decent diagnostics tool around. Well, I don't know whether it's decent yet, but we'll find out in this video. Now, rather than just reading through a list of specifications to you like lots of review videos do, I'm going to be doing a real world test on this product. So I'm going to introduce a fault on my car and we'll see how quickly this unit can diagnose the fault and how accurate it is. I'll also be talking about all the key features as well. And then at the end of this video, I'll give you my honest opinion as to whether I think this unit's worth the £300 price tag. It's got nice neat packaging. No second listing. I don't really know what that means. Do you think it means no second guessing? Oh, that's smart. Here we have a quick start guide in lots of different languages. Here's our unit and our cables. First impressions are good. It feels of a good quality. Most likely drop proof, I'd say. Potentially IP rated. I'm not sure how waterproof it is, but it's got these buttons on here as well, which is handy because if you're a mechanic and you've got hands covered in grease or you're wearing gloves and it's touchscreen, then sometimes you get oil all over the screen and then it stops working. So it's actually quite nice to have these buttons on here. It comes with two cables. This one's to connect to the OBD port, and then this is a USB-C for charging the unit up. Oh, this is the best bit, isn't it? Ready? Oh, look at that. The main features of this unit include full system diagnosis, fault code reading and clearing, live data, bi-directional control, service function, CAN FD support, FCA AutoAuth support, and lifetime updates. Now don't worry if you don't know what I meant by some of those features, I'll be talking about them in this video. Underneath this cover on the side of the unit is where we charge it up, so if you've got fingernails you can just flick that up. If not, you're going to have to use something to pull the cover up. It has an SD card slot on the side of the unit, so you can plug one of those in to save and transfer data to other devices. For example, if you want to print off reports. And then we've got our typical USB-C port on the side for charging the unit up. Let's take our rubber cable and plug it into the unit, and then we just use these little screws to secure it to the device. Now that's ready to be plugged into the car. So let's turn it on. It's got a very clear display. I wonder if you can play games on it or watch Netflix. Just joking. Welcome. English. Start. You can obtain product information, technical support and after sales through online customer service. Okay. New diagnostic software has been detected for download. Do you want to download it now? Yeah, let's download it. Network connection failed. So we need to connect it to the Wi-Fi first. On the home screen, you've got 4 categories across the top: diagnose, maintenance, upgrade, and more. And then below them, you have all the different subcategories. So we need to go to settings to connect it to Wi-Fi. So click OK on that. You can either use the buttons on the right hand side or use a touch screen. So I'm just going to click on Wi-Fi there and then connect it to Wi-Fi like you would any other device. Once I was connected to Wi-Fi, I followed the prompts on the screen to update the system. That took a couple of minutes just to complete the updates, and then I took the scanner and plugged it into my car's OBD port. We've got the unit plugged in. I quite like the fact that the cable can hang over the steering wheel, so you've got the screen right in front of you there. I'm now going to turn the ignition on. With the ignition on, I'm going to do an auto search. You can manually search for your vehicle's make, or you can do an auto search, so let's just do that because it's easier. I'm just going to do a VIN scan. I like that graphic, it's very cool. It's just identifying the vehicle now, the manufacturer and the VIN number. There we go. Once the scanner is connected to the car, I can click status report and that will run a full system scan looking at every ECU module and trying to identify any faults. It carries out the full system scan in only 37 seconds, which is quite impressive. And then after the scan, it shows up that we've got 5 DTCs, which stands for Diagnostic Trouble Codes. Now don't panic if you get loads of faults come up on your screen. More than likely they're just historic faults. For example, we've got a sporadic fault here for tyre pressure warning. That's more than likely just a TPMS light that's come up, tyre pressure monitoring system. And once you reset that, once you've checked your tyre pressures, that will clear itself. However, it's saved as a historic fault on here. So I'm going to go ahead and clear these faults and see if any return. It's always a good idea to save your fault history to begin with, so then you can refer to it later if you need to. And this tool actually lets you generate a report automatically, so we can save that as a pre-scan report. And then once we've fixed any issues, we can do a post-scan report, so we've got proof that we've fixed any issues. Let's go ahead and clear the DTCs, so click that, OK, yes, I'm sure I want to clear the faults. It takes about a minute to clear the faults, and then it shows up that we've got 0 DTCs. I'm now going to go back and run a full system scan again and see if any faults remain. After a rescan, we've got one fault outstanding, and it's the antenna amplifier 1 for digital radio open circuit. This fault code here, I've got us a much better Wi-Fi connection now. So let's try the MUCAR feature, Intelligent Assistant, and see what it suggests we do. Please help me. It gives us this breakdown. So the definition, antenna amplifier 1 for digital radio open circuit. The symptoms, common symptoms include no digital radio reception. Yep, my radio doesn't work, the DAB. Poor signal strength, radio display showing no signal or antenna error, and possible loss of AM/FM reception if the amplifier is shared. We've got some guidance notes here. So we've got circuit system inspection. We've got a full diagnosis procedure here that we could follow. Circuit system test, how to test the circuit. Component test, how to inspect the potentially damaged component for the antenna amplifier. And then we've got a full maintenance guide here. Possible causes, repair directions. Start by checking the fuse and power supply. If power is present, inspect the amplifier and its connectors. If no visible issues, replace the antenna amplifier module. After replacement, clear the fault code and test digital radio reception. Seriously impressed with this. You can also use the scanner to carry out a Google search for the fault code. However, I did find this was a little bit clunky and access to various websites was limited. I'm not sure whether the scanner didn't support it, or maybe it was just because my Wi-Fi connection is very temperamental. And if I scroll down here, I can click on reference video. It comes up with YouTube videos about the fault. It doesn't actually let me watch the videos. Oh no, it is working, it's just very slow. I can assure you it's the internet. Oh look, it's just cut out again. Absolutely terrible. It's like bloody dial-up. So that's the diagnosis menu there, or you can diagnose it manually. So if I click that, you've got all the different makes and models of vehicle here. Absolutely hundreds of them. You can also monitor live data. So just for an example, I've selected the engine RPM. So if I start the engine and we can have a look at the graph, we've got live data coming in. And if I put my foot on the accelerator, you can see how quickly that responds. We can also do a screen recording of this data. So if we go back, we can click record here and then go back to the graph, and anything that's going on this graph will be saved as a recording. And then when we click stop, we can save that file and then refer to it later if we need to. For example, if we need to show a customer how their car is responding to a certain fault, we can then show them on this graph. And we've then got the maintenance menu where we've got loads of different functions. I'll just scroll through them now for you. There's everything there from resetting your oil service light to forcing a DPF regen if you've got a blocked up DPF. Right, let's introduce a fault on the car. A nice easy one is to remove the MAF sensor, the mass airflow sensor. So let's just unplug that. We'll go start the car and it should ping up a fault, because it can't meter how much air is coming into the engine. After disconnecting the MAF sensor, it's thrown up the check engine light, and the glow plug light is also flashing there. So let's plug in the MUCAR and see how quickly it can diagnose this fault. We're going to do a status report. Go, go, go. There we go. It took 3 minutes to find that. Straight away, engine electronics, mass or volume airflow sensor, A circuit, intermittent. Okay, let's see what AI has to say about that. Symptoms, impact of the fault. If airflow sensor malfunctions, the ECU cannot obtain the correct intake air volume signal and cannot control the fuel injection volume properly. This will result in a mixture that is either too rich or too lean, causing the engine to run abnormally. Let's try the maintenance guide, see what we can do about it. Intake pipe leakage, debris or dirt on the detection part of the airflow sensor short circuit, open circuit or poor contact in the airflow sensor. Awesome. I'm just going to plug it back in. With the MAF sensor reconnected, I carried out one last system scan and reset the fault codes. Now let's try out the bi-directional control. So we can go to a system selection. Let's look at the engine electronics. And at the bottom, we've got actuator tests. And we can carry out various tests on different modules. For example, let's test out the radiator fan to make sure it works. So I'm going to click OK on that. And I'm going to click Start. You can hear the radiator fan is running. See what else we've got. Fuel pump electronics. Okay. Brief actuation. Start. Can hear the fuel pump running. So that's good for priming your fuel system. I've spent a good hour or so playing around with this diagnostics tool now, so let me give you my opinion on it and the pros and cons that I've found. The first thing I want to highlight is its rugged design. I like the fact it's got this rubberized case. You could definitely bash this around and it would survive. The screen is very clear, easy to read, and then you've got buttons over here. It's nice to have buttons on a device now. You don't particularly want to use the touch screen all the time because as soon as you get oil over there, it gets all smeary and horrible. I like the auto search function. You don't have to put in the details of your vehicle. You can just plug this straight in. It will scan your car and work out what make and model it is. It will bring up your VIN number and then you're connected, ready to do a system scan. When I first plugged it in and did my first scan, it took ages and ages and ages, and I knew something wasn't quite right. So I got in touch with MUCAR and I said, look, it's taking way too long. Their customer service was very good. I had dealings with them previously because obviously they asked me to do this review. They got back to me and said, okay, you need to update the firmware. So I went to the settings, updated the firmware, and then the next time I plugged it in, it ran through the diagnostics absolutely fine. So that's my only niggle so far. This scanner picked up the fault that I already had on my car with my DAB radio antenna circuit. That's a fault I knew about before, but this has actually got the AI feature and it gave me a breakdown of everything that could possibly be wrong with it and how to fix it. It's basically an AI mechanic, and if it doesn't give you enough information through the AI route, you can also carry out a Google search on here and you can look at the YouTube videos. Another feature I really like about the MUCAR is its ability to produce reports. Once you've run a system scan, it compiles it automatically into a report. You can customize it, add in addresses and information that you want on there. Ideal if you want to print it off for your customers. And you can print it off directly from this machine as well, or you can email it to yourself. This has got 32 gigabytes, I believe, of built-in storage, and then you've got that slot on the side to add a micro SD card if you want more storage. And it saves it all on here, so you can go back to the reports later if you want to review them. You can even do screen recordings from the live data, which you can then refer to later if you want to show customers how their car is performing or not performing, should it be the case. With this being quite a complex device, it does take a little while to learn it, probably an hour or two just to get your head around all of the key features and everything it can do. That's not such a negative, it's just going to take a little bit of time to get to grips with. The only downside of all that tech is that it does need a decent internet connection, and I've been struggling with it because we haven't got a very good Wi-Fi connection here. I did try and hotspot it off my phone, but it wouldn't connect for some reason. I'm not sure whether internet just doesn't like me, but maybe that's the case. So my final verdict, is the MUCAR 682 worth buying? If all you're looking to do is occasionally read and reset your engine fault codes, then there are certainly cheaper options on the market. For example, you could get something like this. However, this will only do engine fault codes. It won't diagnose faulty ABS sensors and things like that. So it's a very, very basic model, and this is only £20 on Amazon. You could also get a Carista OBD reader. This is around £40, I believe. But the trouble is with this one, you have to pay a monthly or yearly subscription. But that gives you access to check and reset any engine fault codes. You can also do live data monitoring on this one as well. If we compare the MUCAR to the Carista, the MUCAR is a professional diagnostics tool which you could use commercially because it can generate reports and do all of that high-tech stuff. You've got that bi-directional control, so you can test individual components on the car. The Carista is more for the average DIYer that's looking to do a reset every now and then, but it's also got some cool features you can do with the Carista, such as modifications that your car didn't come with as standard. For example, you can add a needle sweep. You can make your car lock the doors automatically after 5 seconds, which I added to my car. It's got lots of user-friendly functions like that, and it's very easy to use the app. However, if you regularly work on vehicles, carry out servicing, fault diagnosis, and you want access to the bi-directional control so you can check specific components like the radiator fan, turn on the fuel pump to prime your fuel filters, then this diagnostics tool offers a lot of value for money. The combination of full system diagnostics, live data analysis, the service function resets, and of course that bi-directional control makes this a really capable all-round diagnostics tool for a pretty reasonable price tag, if you ask me. £300 to do all of that is well worth the money. If you found this video useful and you'd like to see more tool reviews and workshop videos, then please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you click that alarm bell and set notifications to all, you'll be notified when I post new videos. And I'll put a link in the description below to the MUCAR 682 where you can pick it up from Amazon, and I believe they've got a Prime Day sale on as well, so check it out. And if you buy it through the links, you'll also be supporting the channel, so I'd appreciate that. You don't pay any more for the product, it just means I get a small kickback off of any sales. If you've got any questions for me about the product, let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. And with that being said, take care guys, enjoy the Prime Day sales, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. It's not really a negative, but this device does rely heavily. It's not so much a negative, but this device does rely heavily. Why am I saying heavenly? Why do I keep saying it? It's not really, oh fuck's sake.